They should make eggnog all year round. I don't want to wait till this time of year. Just make it
like
all
Girl
year
Scout
round.
cookies. Stop playing. You know we like them. Sell them all. Stop playing.
Oh my God.
Welcome to the First 40 Sports Show with the Goon Squad. It's Black Thor, Ice Water, and yours truly, Puma. 46 days to the Rihanna halftime Super Bowl show. Going to start off with our first topic with Ed Reed, Hall of Famer, ex-Raven star, takes the job as head coach at Bethune-Cookman Ice. I know we talked about HBCUs. A few weeks I went on a rant about HBCUs and how they treated Deion. I was really surprised that Ed Reed stepped up and did this. I commend him for it. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, we really don't know a lot about Ed Reed's background as far as coaching. We know he's done a little bit here and there, maybe some assistants, been around programs. But the fact that he's even considering going down to a place that really needs him and or a school, because Bethune-Cookman, when it's come to football lately anyway, they could use somebody with the energy. I like the standpoint too, because everybody keeps pointing about other people like celebrities need to step up and do things like this. You know, everybody's still either on it or feeling good or just sick that Deion left. And for Ed Reed to step up, another definitely bona fide Hall of Famer, to go, you know what, I'm going to go down there, if nothing else, surround himself with a good, solid staff, and hopefully they can get more for those kids the same way with the precedent that kind of, and at least to the start of making changes and improving somewhat what Deion did at Jackson State. I'm all for it. I'm looking forward to it. And people will follow. People will follow because Ed Reed's a hell of a dude. He's a real dude, and he's also probably one of the greatest, to ever play at this position. So looking forward to that. Hopefully we can get more. And again, like you said, as you said, this PSA, we need folks to give back more to HBCUs, man. No doubt. Look, I got to do that for myself and for my alma mater come next year. We'll talk.
Yeah. I get that. And over and out, and roger that. Black Thor, I was really surprised that another coach would kind of step up and go to HBCU after Coach Prime, how he was treated in the last time, this was done. What are your thoughts about Ed Reed taking the job at Bethune-Cookman?
I'm not surprised, man. I'm happy. Actually, I'm elated, man, because we need more of this. We really do, man. Sometimes you got to go back home. It may not taste good. The food might be a little stale, but you got to go back and kind of sweeten it up, man. And if anything, that's what Coach Prime basically shown. You got to go back there. And if he used it as a launch pin, so let it be done, bro. But realistically, we have to kind of basically get that cohesive unit back together again. And even though I don't know much about his past and coaching, but his name itself is going to bring credibility. It just is. We're going to bring credibility. When he walks up and shows up to homes of recruits, who's not going to know about Ed Reed? What family member is not, even if the kid doesn't know, what family is not going to know about him? And realistically, I said this maybe a couple of months ago, especially for parents with these kids looking to go places, you got to start looking at schools and people that care for your child. Stop looking at where they can go, what their potential, what they can make in football, all that. Put them in a place where that's basically going to kind of shelter them and help them blossom and bloom as a young man. And Ed Reed can do that. So with that alone, I'm happy for him. Hopefully some others will start to take that direction and move in that direction and move and decide, to move there and basically go back home and help. This guy that I was thinking about as Ice was talking, and we don't really say his name too often, but he's coaching as well. The brother used to be the running back for the Titans.
Eddie George.
Yes, sir. He's back there as well, man. Eddie doesn't get the attention, so I want to throw his name out there, but he's back there. He's been, if I'm not mistaken, he's been at HBCU for a while. So more need to come back, man. More need to come back. Some players that's been around and, they've been established, has, been at that peak at their career, their profession, their position. Yeah, go on to an HBCU, bro. And you're right. I mean, they didn't treat Prime right. They're still not trying to treat Prime right. But let's just face it. Prime has basically blazed the trail, bro. He's opened some doors, and it's time for the rest of us to walk through.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Ed Reed does have some coaching experience, defensive back coach with the Buffalo Bills. He started that in 2016. Also, he started advising Coach Manny Diaz with Miami, University of Miami in 2020. So he does have some experience, but I'm pretty sure that he will take the blueprint from Deion and really he's one of those guys that once he gets a hold of something, he masters it and he takes it to the hilt. And I remember him as a player, one of the most devastating safeties I've ever seen in my entire life. Just really smart, knew the game, and is a Hall of Famer. I saw this coming, Black. I saw this coming after the first game Denver had, and go back to our videos. I said that Hackett should be fired. He does not need to be a coach. Finally, Denver, after that pitiful game they had last weekend, they fire him. They keep Russell. And so they got to keep Russell because they're paying him so much money. But they're going with the quarterback and saying the coach is not the coach for us. And I want to go to you first on this story because I call this day one when there were some crucial decisions made at the end of the game. And I'm like, this is not an NFL coach. I don't know what he's doing. He doesn't even know what he's doing. Black.
Yeah, they fired him, and rightly so. Hackett is out of, he basically was out of his position, on the level that to be an NFL head coach. And it's just sad to think, man, not even sad, it's screwed up to think that with all the potential hires that were out there, this is the best that they could have done. But I'm gonna go a little further because the person that hired him, general manager, should be fired as well. You should not stop with him. And the person that basically did that deal for Russell Wilson, general manager, president of operations, whoever they may be, they should get cleared out as well because that team has been set back. I don't care what they say they believe in Russell Wilson. The Broncos, in my opinion, are not going to be good for another 5 years, at least, bro. Russell has basically went down like this, and it's interesting because, you look at Seattle now. They look like gangsters, bro. they got a lot for him, and they walked away from that deal. They got a lot. They knew what they were doing, and they got a lot. They got a lot for Russell, and they basically got the best out of him. And I said to you before we got started, man, some people are saying that he's a Hall of Fame. When has Russell Wilson been a Hall of Fame? Let's be honest, man. He lucked into that first Super Bowl. Lucked into it. You could have quarterbacked that team to that Super Bowl. So don't act like he's something great. And I'm not saying he hasn't had a good career. I'm not going to take that away from him. But Russell need to look in the mirror and realize, stop trying to be something that you're not. You're not a superstar, bro. You're not. You're an NFL quarterback. Go back to the basics, to the fundamentals, and try to get your game back. If not, he's in trouble. But I think they should fire the general manager like they did in Tennessee. Come down, fire him, start fresh. Because that team is not that bad. They just need to be managed well. But as you said, what took place on Sunday, how could you not fire that coach, man? That team basically gave up. I haven't seen a team lay down. Forget about tanking. I haven't seen a team lay down in a game as bad as Denver did on Sunday. Lay down. I mean, if I was the owner, I'd be thinking twice about paying them for this past weekend performance, bro. Honestly, because they laid down.
If there's a way to do it, Ice, and not pay players when they lay down like that, I would do it as an owner. I would absolutely do it. Ice, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, but when you make the decision to bring people in, you got to understand who you're dealing with. I mean, when you really understand, I know you're like, well, we sometimes we reach out and try to give a guy an opportunity. I get that, but you got to do your homework, man. And you also got to do your homework as to what kind of staff is being brought in. That's a lot just to be, especially when you brought Russell Wilson in, right? You got to have somebody in there that can make that work. And if he's going to just be bad because he's over the hill, that's one thing. But you at least got to put him in a position where somebody understands what he does best or what he does well and create a staff and also a roster that can put you in a position to try to win a few games. And when you hire a first-time coach with a veteran that's been in some games, as Black Thor said, even if he may not be Hall of Fame worthy, he has been to the Super Bowl. You got somebody that understands that can handle it. You think about that too, from the standpoint that they fired the offensive line coach, they also fired the special teams coach. So Hackett was on his way out 4-11 in his first game. This is the thing that really blew me away. And even if Russell Wilson is laying down and on one leg, bro, they average 15 points a game.
Yeah, you can't win.
Russell Wilson could lay on his knees, bro, bend on his knees and throw 2 touchdowns, at least if he had a little help. That's what I'm saying. I don't get that totally, but also too, the one thing I do like about it is the owners, the Walter Penner family, they pulled the plug pretty quick. Why wait another year? He made more. He lasted more games than Urban Meyer. Anyway, I know y'all like that. But sometimes you just got to do it. But him not really having the pedigree and whatnot, I think they should have waited. And I think they were so hyped up, they wanted to do something. Take your time and get the right person this time, even if you go try to do an interim coach or something. But take your time and get the right hire. I think they need to go forward. If Carolina lets Wilkes go, I even look at that way. Yeah, somebody understand. Wilkes is doing one hell of a job with Carolina. If they don't want him, I go that route or wherever else you want to do big time. I know they're looking at the Sean Paytons of the world, but I prefer Wilkes or somebody that really is hungry and wants to make a change in a certain kind of way at the franchise.
I'm gonna throw Herm Edwards out there. I'm gonna throw him out there. Here's the mark of a good coach to me. You see what you have and you coach that up to maximize the talent you have, instead of trying to force people in a system that you believe that works and you don't have the talent to do that system. And that's what I saw in Denver. It was like he was trying to force these players into a system that just wasn't going to work. And here's the result of that, both on offense and defense, because I've never seen the Denver defense that bad before in my entire life. Any other thoughts, Black?
No, I agree with you. I think, Hackett basically was under, if I remember correctly, he was offensive coordinator for Aaron Rodgers when they kind of did their 13-3 season. And a lot of times when you're white and you show up from a position like that, they just believe you know what you're doing. And I'm wondering, because a lot of times these teams, they hire consultants to talk to these coaches and bring them in. And again, anyone that was connected with that hire in the trade with Russell Wilson should be fired. Should be fired, bro. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. You can't miss that bad at hiring a leader to your organization. And then within 1 year, and I agree, if the Carolina Panthers are dumb enough to not resign that head coach right now, the interim, fuck them. Excuse my language. Hope the kids are sleeping. Seriously. Because that guy has came in, when you're still paying that other idiot from Temple, he's come in and has done a masterful job. Masterful. He got players out there that want to be there, want anything, got them out of there. That team is playing hard, even if they don't make the playoffs. And if you decide as the owner, I think the owner name is David, I can't think of his last name. If you're dumb enough to let him walk, good luck to you, bro. Look at the Raiders now. Look at the Raiders. Think about it. Think about it. Forget the color of his skin. See what he's capable of doing with an NFL franchise. That's what you should be focused on.
Aish, you got the last word on this.
Yeah, just from that standpoint, you just got to look at it and make it a solid decision. You know what I mean? You got to make a solid decision. I think that's the biggest thing with Denver. You already have, like I said, a quality, at least whatever Russell Wilson has left, you have that too. Again, like I said, when you think about Wilkes, coming from Carolina, that would be major. You mentioned Herm Edwards. I love Herm. I love him on commercial. I love him on ESPN, but Herm stuck in the 80s, bro.
I'm rooting for you, Herm.
I mean, right, but what Herm can be an assistant. How about that? Let's bring. And one last point I was going to say is this: what I find ironic about when they make these head coaching hires is because a person does a halfway decent job as a coordinator, like offensive or defense, doesn't mean they're ready to be a head coach material. You saw what the Browns did when they had they had the offensive coordinator or quarterbacks coach. And Baker Mayfield's supposed to be in the twilight of his whatever, and they hired him, and he couldn't handle it. It's when you have to handle a whole team, you have to orchestrate what's going on, make plans for a whole team. One, you got to get a great staff, some people that follow so they can keep things going for you, but you're responsible for the whole team. And everybody's not made for that. They're great for coordinators, and some people need to stay in their lane. Some people, like when you look down at and I know they're gonna be mad at me, but I'm gonna say whatever. But Coach Quinn with Dallas right now, hell of a coordinator. I think that's where he does his best work. I don't know if I'll be looking at that. I know everybody gonna get him because of the loss to Atlanta and the Super Bowl and all. But if you're a coordinator, and maybe that's what they think about Mr. Bieniemy. Anyway, I didn't say that. But it is what it is, though. If you just do something real well, maybe you deserve a shot, but sometimes it is what it is.
I wouldn't be surprised they throw Quinn's hat in that coaching carousel this year. Anyway, let's go on with Tua. Ice, you and I were talking about this, and I didn't understand the interceptions that Tua he was throwing it and his receivers weren't even looking for the ball. And now we know that he was playing with a concussion. And when is the NFL, Black, going to get this right?
I'm going to say this, man. I don't blame the NFL for this one, bro. Now I'm going to tell you why. I think we all three watched that game. We didn't know he was concussed. We didn't. I know they got people to pay attention, but my point is, at some point, Tua got to take responsibility, bro. He just got to take responsibility. Remember the first one, I think it was against Buffalo? Bro, we all saw when he got up off that hit, we got off the ground with that hit. He staggered like he was Joe Frazier getting hit from George Foreman. Mm-hmm. And he went, and I don't know if he said this to the Miami Dolphins, but whoever came back and said, my man hurt his back on that play, you can't lie no more blatant than that. You just can't. That's not the NFL. But from that, they fired the doctors, everybody that was responsible. So my point is, at some point, these players got to say to themselves, and he's got to say this now, what about me? Yeah, I love this game. Yeah, it's going to make me millions, but I'm only 20-something now. How am I going to be in my 30s and my 40s? And I think Tua basically knows he's under a lot of pressure to succeed. And he has some highlights, don't get me wrong. And he doesn't want to see it go away. And I can respect that, because if you've been playing that game from a little child, a little boy, you don't want to see it snatched away from you. You don't. But mentally, you got to realize, bro, you may not be right in a couple of years, man. You just may not. So you put that up against where he wants to play. So I'm not going to go jump on the NFL, because a lot of players will lie to you, man. I saw a guy today on television said, he was in college. They gave you tests to basically test where you are mentally so they can compare it to when they think you have a concussion. He said he dummied down into the lowest score. So whenever they come to basically compare to him, he's no longer playing. When they come to compare, they would have that to match it up against. Wow. So my point is, some of these players are hurting themselves, bro, because they want to be on the field. Let's be honest. Years ago, it was all about you play hurt no matter what. If you can basically lip on the field, you play. And now, look at Tua. Look what he stands to make. He's going to miss out on, possibly. Look what he stands to make. When you got these cats making a guaranteed $180 million, you tell me what young man that has that talent is going to say, yeah, I'm concussed. I mean, I'm just being honest, bro. So it's up to Tua. At the end of the day, it's up to him, because this one I can't blame the NFL for. For the most part, the NFL wants ratings. They want dollars. That's what they care about. They're forced to care about the concussion. They were forced. So I can't expect them to basically do everything. At some point, you got to police yourself. And he's not doing a good job policing him.
Good point. Ice, your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I see it a little bit twofold. I know it's on the player, but if I am the Miami Dolphins, and I know you want ratings, you want to do all this stuff too, they have a pretty good football team. And if Tua is at his right mind, my brother was telling me, he's like, I don't think he's right. You know, you talk about the 3 interceptions in the fourth quarter, and then we watched the game against the Chargers that he just didn't seem like he can put the ball always on point. If you are concussed, and if I'm that team and I had that much money and whatever invested in him, I'm really asking them doctors. I'm trying to find somebody to know what the hell they're doing. Because as much as I want to win this year, if he's not right, he can't win. He can't win. It's not going to be right. I know you got Hill, you got a lot of exciting things going, but I would rather have a quarterback that is healthy and can move the ball a little bit, whoever the backup may be, if he can just at least move the ball a little bit, because you don't need to win the game for them. That's the other thing. He comes out there like he got to win the game. You need to be a manager. They got weapons, bruh. They got people that can play. They got wide receivers. They got tight ends. The defense is coming strong. You got a nice little run. You got a veteran running back, and you got a young running back that's ready to go. So they are ready to move forward. So if he's not right, and you can't tell me that, oh, well, we don't know about this. Yeah, you do. You're a doctor. I mean, and that's why they fired the doctor. What the hell was you doing anyway? It is the $1 billion boys club. You can't get a decent doctor and see whether or not that dude is ready to play. I'm serious. I mean, I look at that, and then everybody go, well, I don't know. And I know it's on the players, but the NFL, you can't keep telling me one thing and doing another, okay? Because I know older guys, that had 13, Dan Hampton, 13 knee surgeries and shit like that. Man, that just, it's crazy. It's crazy. Then you want to act like you care about them. Nah, just tell them, just say it is what it is, man. You see them as pieces of meat and you see them as property. They good as they are on the field when they can play for you. Otherwise, you won't have nothing to do with it. Just be honest about it. That way we know. Don't come up here like, oh, well, we're really concerned and we're gonna put some money in the till. When you get 65, your ass don't understand what's going on and you can't walk, then we're gonna help you. Man, no, the time is now. And if you're not gonna do it, shut the hell up.
It's interesting. I was watching a video other day of Warren Sapp. And Warren Sapp said, I think he played for like 12 years. He said, I played for 12 years. He said, it took me 5 years after I stopped playing to go into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I saw that.
He said, after those 5 years, my medical insurance from the NFL, finito, gone. Who's going to insure me now at what price?
Yeah.
Think about that for a second, bro. So, I mean, a lot of times I think we look for the NFL to care when they don't care, bro. They don't. They just don't. We want them to, but it's a commodity. Because you know why the NFL runs around, in my opinion, and say, no, NFL is safe. We're doing this because they're not talking to the current day players, bro. They're talking to the high schoolers and the college players because that's where the money is. They're already making the money off of the players now that run around getting their heads smashed in. No, they don't want that pipeline to dry up. They don't want the mothers to say, no, my son is not going to play football. He's going to play tennis or golf. That's what they're talking to. That's why you see this play 60 with the kids out there throwing the football. I'm serious, man. They don't care. They never cared. When you can basically have a person like Warren Sapp that's basically giving his blood, sweat, and tears for you for 12 years, and you tell him, I'm going to insure you for 5 years. And Warren Sapp, I don't think Warren Sapp is barely 40. If he is, the rest of your life, take care of yourself, man. Take care of yourself. And I'm going to say this about Miami real quick. There's so much pressure on Miami. Think about this from the owner, who's not even there, by the way. Let's keep that in mind. And the general manager. When the last time Miami's been in the playoffs and won a playoff game?
That's true.
That's some pressure, bro. You know how much money and prestige come with that? So my point is, you got the money and prestige over here, and you got Tua over here. Which one do you think they're going to roll with? I mean, it is with business. We forget sometimes NFL is entertainment, but it's big business. When you can get Google to pick up the rights for the NFL for $2 billion, and Roger Goodell says, we're looking into other forms of streaming. $2 billion. That's not enough. That's not enough. No, we want other streams. And Google got it, but ESPN was ready to roll over. I think they said ESPN, Amazon wanted it. So you mean to tell me next time they come up for contract, it's gonna be like $4 billion. So if you're making $4 billion just to basically show a game, who you care about? Who you care about? No, what you care about is what's going in your back pocket, bro. And that's why I say these NFL players got to start to take care of themselves, because don't look for them to care for you. They don't care for you. They never cared for you. They don't, because they already know the pipeline keeps coming. Bring them in. Bring them in. They keep coming. There are kids right now in high school. If they could, they would jump from junior high and go play in the NFL. If they could.
Yeah. I remember reading this Sports Illustrated a long time ago, and it was a former player who said that when you come into the NFL, you're like a full can of soda. And he said the NFL just pours it out, and then crunches up the can, puts it on the pile, and gets another can of soda that's full. And when he said that, that was like eye-opening to me. That, it's like they just pour you out, pour all the talent, pour everything out of you, crush the can, throw it on the heap, grab another can. And it's that easy. And that's the way this former player felt. He was a veteran. And I never forgot that analogy he made. Speaking of pouring out the can, J.J. Watt announces his retirement after this season. Ice, is he your first ballot Hall of Famer?
I don't know about first ballot, because when I was looking at the numbers today, the longevity, the times that he played, when he was on the field and he was healthy, he was great, right? But there are a number of breaks and opportunities and other things where he just wasn't there. So Does he deserve to get in because of the standards at some point? I can see that. But when I looked at how many breaks he had and just the longevity, it was like five, it was great, a great 5 years, and then there was a break, then here 2 years, and then whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, one thing about it, and I'm thinking maybe that's a different way that they play football, and other people might disagree. You know, back in the day, when you look, we can say that now because we old as hell, but we say back in the day, dude would play 12, 13 seasons. You understand what I'm saying? With broken noses and, you know, all kind of stuff going crazy. So they suffered all these injuries, but they were out there competing. That longevity was very important. They were like almost seemed like Iron Man, maybe to a fault or to their detriment in regards to the way football was back then. But now it's a whole different ball game. You get guys that part-time players, you get guys had 3 good seasons, and everybody go, oh, he belongs in the Hall of Fame. Oh, yeah. Like, or you stay too long, stay about 22 years, then they just put you in because they think they should. So it's a different way of in regards to the measurements of who should get in the Hall of Fame. So not right now, definitely not first half ballot for me. Down the line, yes, but you gotta wait your turn, bro.
Black, when I was watching some of the sports shows, they were like automatic. 5 years, he should be in. Your thoughts?
I don't think so. Not 5 years, bro. I'll just say this. If T.O. had to wait, he's got to wait even longer. T.O. gave you consistently, bro. You may not have liked him, but T.O. gave it to you every single year. Bang, bang, bang. You know what you can expect. I agree with Ice. He might have given you 4 or 5 years, and then he sat on the side. He came back. He did this. Those 4 years were good. But if you're going to tell me in the Hall of Fame that's all it takes for you, then put him in. But first year Hall of Fame, no, he's not. And I think a lot of time, and I look at what Watt did when the hurricanes happened in Houston. That's part of it too. They're looking at the goodwill, and I'm not going to discount that. But to me, at some point, the NFL Hall of Fame, you're gonna have to come out with a description what it takes to get in. You really do. Because I'm like, did you excel at your position for a period of time? And if that period of time is 4 years, I got no question. But if you're telling me over a long span time of a career, no, he's not, bro. I mean, to me, if you're going to do that, put his career together with his brother, then you put him, then one of them go in. But he hasn't been consistent, bro. And I got nothing against J.J. Watt, but let's get honest, bro. When he was Houston, he did it by himself. I mean, you know, he did it by himself. I'm gonna give him credit for that. But once he got hurt, and I think there's some murky stuff going on with J.J. Watt. I'll be honest, this is my personal opinion. I think there's some things that the NFL looked the other way pertaining to J.J. Watt. If you look at J.J. Watt, to me, you look at Aaron Donald. You don't tell me something screams at you, bro. Screams. I'm not even gonna say what it is. I'm gonna use your own imagination. So with that being said, no, if they want to wait 10, 15 years, that sounds like a long time, roll them in. But I look at players like Bruce Smith all the time, baby. Every time he took the field, year after year after year after year, you knew what you was getting. Lawrence Taylor, year after year, you knew what you was getting. For the most part, Michael Strahan, year after year, you knew what you was getting. So it's like, to me, when you talk Hall of Fame, those are names that pop up in my head. Was he a good defensive lineman? Hell yeah. Hall of Fame, I'm just going to pump the brakes a little bit. But we live in a world now, we like you. You know, if you're a nice guy, we can walk up to you, we can talk to you. You know, you're good to kids, you're this and that. You go get married, you stay out of trouble. Well, yeah, it's Hall of Fame. And I said to you before the show started, they were saying Russell Wilson win because he married Sierra. Can't be based on his play. It can't be, I mean, let's be honest, it can't be based on his play. Because what did he do to deserve to be mentioned? And I got nothing against Russell Wilson. But you tell me the time he spent in Seattle, that's a Hall of Fame career?
Yeah.
I mean, and I'll say this again, there's only one player right now, and if you was to basically tell him to stop playing, in my opinion, he would be considered for the Hall of Fame based on what he's done in the NFL. It's only a short career. It's Patrick Holmes, baby. Outside of that, I got nothing else. And I say that because he's taking that quarterback level to a different level. The way he sidearms the ball, what he does with that ball, what he commands the field and takes over. And I'm going to tell you a person to me, and I'm sorry if I'm getting a little long-winded, that should go in, forget the 5 years. Hill, the receiver in Miami Dolphins, you show me a better receiver, bro, that can get open and has more of an impact on the game in the last 10 years than Hill. If you're gonna put what's name in it, the receiver that was with Pittsburgh Steelers, trust me, don't even wait 5 years. Put Hill in, bro, because that cat is money. So to me, that's high level Hall of Fame. Not you basically do it for 2 or 3 years and everybody's in love with you, pat you on the back, and his wife is not. You give me good 10, 12 years, solid, consistent 12 years, then I'll talk to you.
Yeah, agreed. Let's go to college basketball. Let's run down the top 25. Purdue is holding that number 1 spot, followed by UConn. Houston has creeped up to the number 3 spot, followed by Kansas, Arizona, Texas, really good team. Tennessee, really good team this year, followed by Alabama. They move up 1 spot to number 8. Number 9 is Arkansas, Gonzaga, number 10, UCLA, 11, Baylor, Virginia, Miami, Wisconsin. Saw them play last night. They are ranked 15. Indiana moving 2 spots up to the 16th spot. Duke moving down 3 spots to the 17th spot, followed by TCU, Kentucky, Auburn, Mississippi State, Xavier, New Mexico. New Mexico is coached by Pitino's son, who beat him a week or so ago. Also, Virginia. Huggins is back in, and I hate to say it, right now, North Carolina, number 25.
You're right, baby.
Number 25. Black, I'm going to go to you first, man. College basketball.
Let me apologize to you, man. I'm going to do it because a couple of weeks ago, it might have been about a month ago, you came on and said North Carolina deserve to be number 1. I said to you, I didn't agree with it. I was wrong. I was dead wrong.
You said what now? You said what?
Wrong. I'm going to give it to you, man. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you because you at 25, Hubert Davis, bro, you better grab that white wife of yours and start praying, bro, because you may not be around much longer. North Carolina ain't gonna take that for a long period of time. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And that ain't the Drake speaking, that's me speaking. Let's get real. North Carolina, they ain't taking the alumni, they ain't taking 25. You better make a serious run in this play in the tournament because they're not gonna take that for long, bro. They're not, they're not gonna take that, man. Please, Michael Jordan's probably calling the president right now. What's up? What's going on? They're calling them right now. The alumni are calling. They're not used to that. So at some point, he's got to turn that around. But I'm surprised that UConn, man. I am. I think I said this last week. Or I said it before. I don't see them as being number 2. I know they haven't lost, but I want to see them tested, man. Because I'm happy for them. Don't get me wrong. Hurley's done a hell of a job. I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. But I'm happy to see some names that we're not used to seeing in the last maybe several years. Purdue is a team that always kind of been bouncing around, but some teams that are bouncing around that is up there. And Kentucky, Duke, and the rest of them ain't around. Beautiful. It's gonna be a good March Madness, man. March was about what? 2 months away, 2.5 months away, and the fun really starts. Come on, Ice. Come on. Don't do it for me. Do it for the fans, Ice. Bring the news for the fans. Give the update for the fans, because the fans, they want to start putting their brackets together right now, Ice. Don't do it for me. I won last year. You ain't got to help me out, Ice. Ice, I'm just saying, there's fans that are waiting on you, bro. Come on, man. What you got?
You talk down on Kansas all year long. They this, they that, and you picked the exact same team you talk bad about. Yeah, drink that nog. But I'm not, against North Carolina being in the top 25 right now. But me and Ice have talked about this, and we talked about it on the show. It's the effort with Carolina. If they can give effort for 40 minutes, then they will be in the top 10. But they do not. It's almost like they just they have you look at this name on our jersey and for the first 20 minutes and then try to catch up the next 20. That's not Carolina basketball. Ice, your eye test.
Well, since I don't want to be accused of not giving the people what they deserve, because I ain't scared. I ain't never been scared. I stand on mine. All things happen every once in a while. Some things fall off trees and things like, how the hell did they have? How did they get that $20? Is that $20 on the ground? Is that $100? Every once in a while things happen. So I ain't never scared. So I'm gonna deliver it. I'm gonna give the people what they're looking for. I'm not gonna hold back. That's not what we do here. So you get what you get early on. it's a new year coming up, so it's all good. Anyway, a lot of things are going on. You mentioned, I want to see what UConn is going to do because I'm not sure if, when they start going into conference play, we'll find out what they're really made of. Early on right now, you got some teams that are looking up and they've done great in the non-conference, but now once you start getting the conference play, we'll see how you built, because a lot of good teams in the conferences they're playing in. So I'm looking for tests. I'm looking for teams that are either ranked and seeing how they're going to be tested soon or coming up. I noticed that Indiana, like I said, if they had guard play, they'd be a totally different.
They lost their guard. Yeah.
Yeah. So they just don't look the same. I don't know if they ever will look the same because now they have that guard. They just have bigs and they can overpower you, but those guards make a bigger difference. I know that they have Iowa coming up soon. Iowa got beat, I think by Iowa State or something to that effect, pretty handily. So this is an opportunity for both of these teams to kind of get back on track, whoever wins the game. Alabama, we know what they did against Houston, but they're kind of, teeter-totter around there like to losing to Gonzaga, but they play Mississippi State coming up real soon. So I'm looking forward to that game because I think Mississippi State, number 21, a lot of people are like, okay, this is a great test for them to see can they hang with a team that's aggressive and athletic like Alabama. Another team nobody's really talking about, here your nugget, Black Store, write it down. Anyway, and others. But Xavier University out of Ohio has been surprising to a lot of people. They've been winning some games. They think they blew Cincinnati out in that shootout that they have down there. They've been playing pretty good basketball. They're set to face against St. John's. St. John's may not have the best season so far, but I think Mike Anderson has something up there this year in New York City with St. John's in New York. And they're playing hard, so it'll be interesting to see how Xavier matches up there too. One other caveat, since Black Thor wanted me to throw it out there, we'll see how well he does with the information. But we're going to throw it out there for y'all because that's what we do. A team to watch out for, they're not on the higher end just yet, but if they can just hang around and make the tournament, watch this team. I'm talking about Rutgers. Rutgers is the type of team that can cause a lot of problems because of the way that they play, and they have reckless abandon. They don't care who they play. They're not afraid. This is a team that beat Indiana. This is a team that beat Wake Forest. This is a team that lost to Ohio State, by 1 point. Technically, they would have won, except because the guy came from out of bounds. But anyway, I'm going to let you watch that highlight. So they talked about that. Also, too, this is a team that only lost by 2 points to Seton Hall. So the thing is, can Rutgers gain enough wins to reach the tournament? But they are very difficult out even during the regular season. You don't want to see them because they have no fear. And that's the worst type of team you can face that has talent and is not expected to do anything and has no fear. That's Rutgers all day. That's your tidbit for this evening. Don't say I never do nothing for y'all. Anyway.
Nice. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Also watch out for New Mexico, the Lobos. They are a good team. They're 12-0. They're currently ranked 22. They are well coached. They have a lot of poise that I didn't expect. And then two teams I mentioned earlier before, Texas and Tennessee, really good ball clubs at this particular point of the season. And you're correct on watching them through the conference to see if there are any injuries, to see if there are different styles of play that affect different teams. That's going to be interesting. But I'm just really amazed that you have Arizona, Kansas, and Houston creeping right back up to the number 3 spot, trying to see whether or not Purdue or Connecticut have a little fall to see if they can get back into that number 1 spot. I think it was good for them. You always hear commentators say, that loss was good for them. I think that loss against Alabama with Houston was good for Houston because it showed a weakness in their game, and that weakness was free throw shooting and playing nice down the stretch, or smart basketball down the stretch. Let's go right into the NBA. And me and Black were talking about this game earlier. I didn't really want to talk about it, but Knicks, come on, man. How you up 9 points in 30 seconds and you lose that to Doncic? How do you do that? No blocking out, none of that stuff. No blocking out the shooter. You're just letting folks just come back and break records on you. Come on, man. Come on. You got to be smarter than that. And I said this to you earlier, Black, is this might have been a kind of a rebel against Tibbs, because I've never seen a Tibbs coach team give up 9 points in 30 seconds of the game.
Yeah, you might be right there, man. I didn't look at it that way as I checked the highlights out. It's so funny because last night I thought about watching that game. I looked up, the Knicks were up by 18 points. Nah, I'll go watch something else. And then this morning when I checked out the highlights, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, bro. I mean, don't get me wrong. Luka is who he is. Luke, he is what he is, and I'm gonna give him that. But a 60-point triple-double, what type of defense did you play?
Yeah.
I mean, what type of defense did you administer? What type of defense did the coach call? What, man? I mean, and here's the funny thing. The man only made 2 3-pointers. 6 points. He only made 2. You would have thought he made like 20, 30 points. No, 2 points. So you mean to tell me he was getting to the basket, getting whatever shot he whenever he wanted. And like you and I discussed, man, that's, that shot where he banged it off the rim. No, the first thing you do is box out the shooter.
Yeah.
No one came to him. And then to top it off, you had three Knicks players touch the ball. Randall and 2 other cats. And 1 cat tapped it to him. Literally. Bro, I mean, come on. It's like, I don't know. I mean, at some point, well, it's not going to happen. And, you and I grew up being Knicks fans, and I don't want to pay attention to them. But at some point, the owner's got to look and go, damn, I deserve to do something. And Tibbs not it, bro. He's not it. Let's just get honest, man. Tibbs has never been a head coach to me in the NBA. He's been passed around. He's been given opportunities. And I'm just tired of him, bro. I'm tired. I mean, I'm just dead. I'm not even going to talk about no one else but the Knicks at this point, because I'm tired of Tibbs impersonating a head coach in the NBA. I'm tired. It's time to get him out of there, time to move on. And maybe they're doing things in spite of him. If that's what it is, they should know that. And he's got to go, bro. But the problem is the general manager's best friend. That's the here again. So maybe they both should go. Maybe they really should, because you should not hire someone based on their friendship. Hire them when they're competent enough to do the job. And at the end of the day, he's not, bro. He's not. He's not competent enough to carry the Knicks. There's no way in the world for what Madison Square Garden stands for in this part of the country. I mean, there's been many times, man. You think over the past 20 years, the Lakers have fall out of relevancy and come back. They fall out, come back. The Knicks stay out of relevancy. Let me say that again. Stay. And you can't tell me the NBA don't want the Knicks to be relevant. That's the way you can tell me, bro. I know that may sound old school, but when New York and LA and Boston are relevant in any sport, more so New York and LA, you're carrying the sport. And the Knicks ain't carried the NBA in a long damn time, and it's sad and it's pathetic.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to run down the Western and Eastern Conference. First, the Eastern Conference, Boston really playing really well, followed by Milwaukee. Remember when Milwaukee was number 1 and Boston is playing some really great basketball? Brooklyn is balling. They're shutting up and they're balling. That's a team that a lot of people haven't really talked about. Maybe it's the Kyrie effect. I don't know. Followed by Cleveland, Philadelphia. Been shutting up and they've been balling. New York comes in that number 6 spot, followed by Indiana and Miami. In the West, you have Denver, New Orleans, Memphis. Memphis is falling off because I think they're really kind of reading their press clippings, and they're not really kind of showing it on the court. Followed by the Clippers, who are number 4. Phoenix drops to number 5, followed by Dallas, Sacramento, and Portland. Your eye test, sir.
Yeah, first of all, with the Knicks, I'm gonna just say this one thing, two things, don't get off of it, because I'm not gonna be laboring, because I don't want to beat a dead horse anyway, but or a dead animal anyway. But Tibbs, the one thing, bro, they don't, you know how you need to go old school on them. You need to bring them all back to practice to the garden and make them start running suicide.
Suicide, yeah, yeah. For that,
you start getting attention. Either somebody gonna quit, or they're gonna listen to what you got to say. You need to make mandatory suicides. You know, half them guys are probably hurting. But you went out and you got Brunson. You got the wrong dude. You should have got Luka, man. You should have gave it away. Luka's Showtime. You know, they would love him up there. And I know that's kind of asinine just to say that, because there's no way they can get him. But I at least would have tried. I'd be like, what you want? I'd have call Cuban and say, look, man, what you need? I want to get this guy up here. But Yeah, man, until they do something different, they keep doing the same thing. And I like Brunson. I think he's a guy, but he's a good guy, but he's not worth, he wasn't worth what they gave him. So now you got the same thing plus one. I mean, you know what? That's what it is. But looking at the rest of the league, as you mentioned before in the East, man, topsy-turvy in that East. Boston won 3 straight. Now they're back on top. Milwaukee struggling, trying to get the forward back and some, consistency. They lose 3 straight, so they dropped to 2. In Brooklyn, 9 straight, bro. I'm still waiting. Why come nobody ain't talking about Brooklyn?
Nobody
talking about Kyrie. And nobody talking about right? How come nobody ain't talking about them playing as well as a team? And most importantly, how come nobody talking about Jock Vaughn? I'm just saying, what y'all doing? You dog the man, talk about he crazy, you think the world is all this and that. They're just balling. Nobody's talking about it. They saying they crazy, all this, but now they've come together despite all of the, all that other drama and everything, and not getting the Boston coach, and they playing basketball. How come we can't get some real journalists to give us some damn meat and potatoes about the seriousness of the way these guys are balling? I can't get that. But now I can get all the other drama where they dating Kardashians, all that other bullshit. Come on, bro. Why can't I get some real news, some real basketball news? As you said, Cleveland is trying to play halfway decent. They lost 2 straight so far, but they're going to be okay. Philly is 8-2 in their last 10, trying to get there. I'm really surprised that Toronto's in the position that they are right now. Toronto has some very talented players. Coach Nurse better figure it out real soon because they have too much talent not to be moving up in that position to be in the playoff hunt. So we'll see what happens there. In the West, Denver is just a machine. You can say what you want to. Everybody talking about Luka or whatever, but you got to talk about my man, the Joker, bro. The Joker he don't care. We can go out there with the Joker. Joker going to drop 75, 10, and 22. He don't care. That's how he is. He is a machine. And he represents well in the clothes he wears too because he likes suits. Go on, Joker. The Joker is representing the NBA. I like what he's doing. +2, Murray's healthy, so it'll help them as well. New Orleans is still hanging around, which is good, even though Zion is in and out, but they're still hanging on, which means they had a decent team. I'm going to say this. Memphis, stop it. Stop. Quit talking. Mm-hmm. I love Ja. Ja's a hell of a player, one of the superstars of the league. But until you couldn't beat Golden State without Steph Curry and a broke down Klay Thompson. You couldn't beat them. Y'all talking about, we ain't worried about, we're going to show them. You get in there, you lose that game. Bro, stop talking. Until you start winning games that matter against teams that are broken down and injured or just being relevant, stop talking. I know that's what young people do, and everybody knows y'all got game. But, the thing about the NBA, in any league, in any team sport, you got to show us instead of just be talking about it. And I'm just really surprised by what's going on. I am, but again, I don't want to hear no more talking until you can do something about it. Clippers are 7-3 in their last 10, surprising a lot of people. Phoenix is struggling. They look old sometimes, and there's internal strife. You should have gave Aiden that money. Anyway, I'm just kidding.
That was not what I was thinking. Because he's not a dog, man.
But it's just a point.
Everything 2010.
You knew what was going to happen. That's what I'm saying. You could have got, what's the center's name? From Indiana with the headband. I can't think of his name. They were ready to make that trade. I would have made the trade. You knew what you were getting in Aiden. Aiden's gonna give you a little bit. You got Chris Paul, doing winning walking challenges with his hips. So he kind of old now. He's not the same dude that he was before. It's not the same squad. You wouldn't sign Crowder. I don't know what the hell that's about. So you expect to win, but then you get the coach and the player arguing, and he says, well, it's not just about one guy, it's the whole team, but you directing everything you say to that guy. Dude, it's a mess. Y'all need to figure that out. Cut your losses and do something else because right now it doesn't look good, and you got a new owner. So who's to say what's going on there too? Quite surprised by Dallas and Sacramento hanging out the way that they are, respectively. But it's going to get interesting because we're going to find out what some of these teams are made of. I think we got a lot of pretenders early on. Memphis running a lot of blah, 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 blah. And we're going to find out if y'all the real deal because if you're not, it's the same thing over and over. which means you either got to change coaches or you got to change some pieces. I think they need 1 or 2 veterans that really can play ball and calm down Ja. I know we like Ja, he dunking on people and doing all that stuff. But the point of winning the NBA and basketball, you got to have people that teach young people how to play. Because there's not too many young people that come in and dominate the NBA and then win championships. Now, they might come in, when Jordan came in, Brian came in, but they weren't winning championships. Only one guy I know really kind of came in and won championships right away. His name is Magic Johnson, and there's only one Magic. Leave that right there.
Yeah, you're dead on Memphis because, you know, Booker didn't play the Phoenix game, and Memphis couldn't beat Phoenix. And I'm like, what are y'all doing too much talking like y'all arrived? Y'all haven't arrived yet. You haven't done anything yet. And they're talking to Golden State. They fired them up. Then Golden State blows them out without Steph Curry. I'm like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? I don't understand Memphis. You're on the brink of doing something great, and you do so much talking that you talk yourself right out of basketball games. You're waking up, you're poking the bear, and you're getting beat. And you're getting beat, and you're getting showed up for it. I don't understand it, Black.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this, man. Like you two gentlemen basically said, they think that they act like they won back-to-back championships. That's what they come out. And I love the guard. I love him, but bro, it's not all about the highlights anymore. It's not. We know what you're capable of. We know what you can do. You can slam. You can do all of that. When are you going to win consistently? That's what it is right now. When are you going to win? Forget even the championship. When are you going to win consistently? And I'm going to tell you something, Chris Paul. Bro, if no one else tells you, I'll say this. You don't look masculine in that commercial, bro. You just don't. You do not look masculine in that commercial, man. Every time I see that commercial, I grab my remote when I want to turn it, man. Because you do not look masculine. I know they're paying you well, but maybe just have you shoot you from the head up because that commercial make you look suspect, bro.
Banana boat. All right, questions from the squad. Black, what's your first question?
I couldn't believe I saw this as a headline, and I wanted to, basically bring it to you two gentlemen that James Harden, Suki, what's his name? Slim Smokey, whatever you call a piece of action. I can't think of that name right now.
Mongo Slade.
Yes, sir, baby. My man, we're not even at the All-Star. And he already talking about leaving Philadelphia and going back to maybe Houston. How? I mean, how would you feel if you're Joel Embiid or anyone in the Philadelphia organization? This cat got his people talking about he wanted to go play for the Houston Rockets. He may go play for the Houston Rockets next year. Now, it could be a smoke screen. Let me just say that too if I put the question out. But your thoughts on that, and if you were playing with him, how would you feel?
Ice?
Man, you know what? How many times does it take for somebody to hit you upside the head before you realize they're trying to hurt you? That's what I want to know. How many times you're like, damn. They don't have good intentions. So James Harden, I used to be one of the biggest supporters, and I said you just need to be in the right position. You've been in the right position the last couple of times, and it has not worked. You were in the right position before in Houston. They brought people around you. Then you go to Brooklyn, and then you didn't like that. Now you're in Philadelphia. Oh, I'm gonna be okay. I'm good. I just need to be in another place. You're talking about going back to Houston, bruh? Come on, man. He ain't trying to win. I thought he was at first. Westbrook said it best. I don't need it, but he ended up with the Lakers, and he does really want to win. But when James Harden says, I want to go back to Houston, he has no intentions of trying to win whatsoever. He has houses down there. He's beloved down there. He got a setup. Maybe he's thinking about retiring soon. So he want to get on back down there. He ain't got to leave. He just come out and, roll around a little bit, gain a little extra weight and just shoot from whatever. And everybody still love him, open a couple restaurants and some bars or whatever. He's going for the setup right now. He's going for the rest of his life just to chill out and entertain the ladies as he does and whatever. This is a destination for him. He's going back to Houston because it's a destination. He has in my opinion, no desire whatsoever to win no damn championships. So if that's what you want to do, Harden, I will come out and say, you know what? I love Houston. I don't give a damn about nothing else. I just want to be around my people. I love them. We're going to have whatever's going on, and do your little functions every year, just say that, bro. Because who's going to take a chance on you the way that you've been doing lately, bouncing around? And you're literally on a legitimate team that is trying to make a run in the playoffs or close to the, we ain't at the All-Star game yet. But yeah, you talking about, even if it's smoke screen, it can't even be a smoke screen. Why is Houston even coming out your mouth? It ain't summertime. What the hell are you talking about? What your people talking about? If that's your people need you need to tell them, yo, man. I mean, why are you even talking about that, man? That's crazy. That is crazy as hell. I want to go back to Houston and do what, James?
Man, this is, he said he doesn't know where this came from. He has to know. Somebody said something in his camp. So, dude, just retire, hang out with your rap buddies, maybe play an Ice Cube league, just for recreation. You ain't got to, keep up on your weight, any of that stuff, man. Just, if you don't want to play in the NBA, I know you like the money. That's why you probably staying, because the money's good. Well, just retire, man. If you keep bouncing around, it's obvious. It was obvious to me years ago, you don't want to win. You don't. You don't stick on the team long enough to win. And when you get in the playoffs, you forget how to play basketball. So go to the Big Three league. Go do something else, man. Because in Philly, it's been quiet. They've been winning. They've been, sustaining. Now all of a sudden, that's not good enough. Let's stir up some controversy. I don't know, man. I don't know about this dude. It's just sad to see what's in Houston. Maybe it's a rap career. I don't know, man. But this guy, I can't take him seriously. I really can't take him seriously as a basketball player. He's always been like this. This is not a surprise. This is when everything is quiet, he kind of rises up his head and says something stupid, and then everybody's running around with it. So I have no clue why he would want to go to Houston. I wouldn't even want him if I was Houston. And my dad used to describe this thing in the Army called a soap party. That's what I would do to James Harden, Mongo Slay, a soap party. Put a, soap in the sock, and soap party, Sixers soap party, black.
As I listen to you gentlemen speak, I have not much to add to that because you two basically knocked it out the park. But I think back 2 years ago, and I felt sorry for him at this point when he was with OKC, and they offered him a contract. He said they called him and they lowballed him. And this was him speaking. OKC never talked about this. So now I'm believing he lied. He basically came out lied. He said they called him like on a Tuesday, offered him a lowball contract. He said no. And within hours, he was traded. And I'm like, bro, you think back to him, Westbrook, and KD, bro, think about what they could have done in the NBA together. Those three on that team. And you look at his career since then, like you said, he's been in the playoffs, he's disappeared. He's been in New Jersey, he has been. I mean, it's like James Harden. It's like, bro, he's made a lot of money and done nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing in the NBA. I mean, they basically have taken away your shot because you always lean into people and get fouled. It's like, bro, it's like he's a waste. James Harden is actually a waste. And I don't care what he does off the court. I don't know if he does any good or not, but on the court, the brother's a waste. And if you're dumb enough to sign him, you deserve what you get, bro. Because he wanted out there in the worst way. And I'm just, like you said, you're not even at All-Star game. And you're in the contract. You're talking, if I was Philly, bro,
I'd send him there. I'd send him right there.
I will release you right now. Go. Don't wait till go. Go right now. Why are we paying you? Go now. Because you can't be more disrespectful to the paycheck that you're getting and saying where you want to go next year. And that's not trying to get more money because they're paying you handsomely. And they brought you in. They did you a favor and brought you in. And this is how you pay them back? Bro, please. Forget soap, bro. Forget soap. It's bare knuckles. It's bare knuckles. Bare knuckles, bro. Straight up. Bare knuckles.
Ask your question, man.
Yeah, I just want to say on that same OKC team was a young Ibaka and a young Jeff
Yes.
Green and a young Jeff Green.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had that.
Dynasty. That could have been a dynasty, bro.
Yeah.
Dynasty.
Yeah, anyway, my question is because I live here, but I want to throw something out and see what you guys kind of get the pulse of people outside. The college football playoff is coming up this weekend. Ohio State Buckeyes, number 4 ranked, will face the top ranked Georgia Bulldogs. Ryan Day, the coach of Ohio State, in 5 seasons, 45-5. He lost games to Clemson and Alabama in the playoffs. He lost to Oregon once. He lost twice recently to Michigan. What is your take about Ryan Day? Do you think he's in a good position comfortably, or you think he's on a hot seat from your perspective on the outside of Ohio?
Black?
I'm on the outside, man. I'm going to tell you this right now, bro. Just my opinion. I don't think they're going to beat Georgia. And so what? The mere fact that that team is in the top 4 with the talent and the way they played this year, to me, is all coaching. I watch him throughout the season, man. And sometimes I watch them play at halftime and they come back out at halftime. They're a totally different team, bro. That's coaching. That cat can coach. And I don't understand. I hear who you say he lost to. And you're in Ohio, you feel the pulse, and you lost to Michigan. But so what, man? You have yourself a gem of a head coach, bro. You got to go recruit, and sometimes you're going to be a little peak, and there's going to be valleys. And you might be in a valley now, but he'll bring that team back. I'm going to say this, bro. I would pay him out of my own pocket before I pay Urban Myers. Urban Myers is a sleaze dog. I know he won there. He's a sleaze dog. This cat here, I would consider if I had a son to play football, to send him to play for him. Now, if Ohio State want to be greedy and act like the New York Yankees think every year they got to win a championship, they got to be Michigan, fire him. Fire him, please do. Go ahead. But if you want to realize what you have, who I think is a gem of a head coach, I do. He stepped in and elevated that situation that he's in. And every year you're not going to be. Michigan been fighting, man. Michigan been sleeping and missing sleep for the past 5 years to beat Ohio State. Sometimes it happens, bro. That should not be the barometer. Again, I don't even think Ohio State realistically, the way they played this year, should have been in the top 4, but they're there. They're there. That should be speech volumes. Whether they win it or not, volume. So to me, if they fire him after this season, good luck. Because I guarantee you this, who you bringing in that's going to be better than him? Who? Who you bringing in? Who you going to move in that position that's going to coach that team better? Who? I just want to know. I mean, I really want to know. You bring because Vince Lombardi, last time I checked, is dead. So I don't know. I don't know. What more a man has to do? 45-5?
Yeah.
45. I mean, 45-5. I mean, Michigan has had a good. You know how many times we said on this show that Harbaugh should have been fired? Fired. One good year. Unbelievable, bro. Yeah. You talk about the Yankees fans, Columbus fans. Y'all got some shit with y'all. I'm just gonna say it like this. Y'all got some shit. It ain't good smelling shit either.
Well, I can't believe that this is even a conversation that he would be on the hot seat. I don't see any Ohio news coming here to Chicago, but 45-5, he got his team into the playoffs. You know, you got to tip your hat to the man. Matter of fact, giving an extension, because when he got that team, a lot of people were thinking that Ohio State would go down in their play, and was able to stable his ship and bring Ohio State to where they are now. I don't know who's going to win the game against Ohio and Georgia. We will have to see. I don't want to make any predictions about the playoffs, but I'm looking forward to some good playoffs. But to sit there and say that this man should be fired if he doesn't win the championship this year is, wow, that's a stretch. That is really a stretch. And I commend the job that he's done. He continued to recruit great players. He continued to push that program to either the top 1, 2, or 3 in the Big Ten, which is not easy to do. And so just because you lost a couple of games to Michigan, I know the rivalry is very strong, but just because you lost a couple of games to Michigan, you want to get them out of there? I don't think so. I think that would be a bad move. Ice?
I hear a lot of different things. I hear a lot of people, some people are stuck here or in Buckeye Nation about losing to Michigan. And I get it. You know, I don't want to lose to Michigan, but you got to put it in perspective. For how many years prior to this had Ohio State been beating and dominating Michigan straight? You know, like this kind of goes in cycles. But Ryan Day came in after Urban Meyer, who had really kind of put it on the map or got things up and running, and he held his own. He held his own. He kind of ran the system back a little bit, did some very things that were similar to what Urban Meyer was running, but he kind of made it his own. He was able to get some more different types of recruits as well. So 45-5. The thing about success is some people just can never get enough. Doesn't matter. You know, when Urban Meyer won that championship, you know, everybody got hungry. Oh, we every year. Okay, but you know, Urban Meyer came to do one thing, and that was to win the championship. You know, people like, oh, he's gonna be here forever. No, I knew, I had a feeling he was gonna leave anyway. He did what he wanted to do, because when he came back to Ohio, he just wanted to have his name up there with one person, and that was Woody Hayes. And he brought that championship back. He'll never have to coach another damn game ever. He'll need have to even go to a Pee-wee game. When he brought that back to Ohio, his name is in lights forever. Love him, hate him, his character, whatever. It don't matter. When he won that, it was like, you know, and that's what he wanted. That's the only job he really wanted, so he come back and he did that. But Ryan Day is a hell of a coach. They're having some issues right now in regards to competing with some of the top players because of the NIL. A lot of other teams are spending a lot of more money. But with the factory of wide receivers and running backs and all other players that are almost guaranteed, if you come through here, going to go to the league, you got a great product. Ryan Day is solid. He's just going to have to tighten some things up. With this game come up, I'm very interested in it. I'm not sure if they're going to win. But if you talk about needing motivation to get you off your ass and coach and be mad, you should be mad. Because I was telling some of my friends earlier, people just basically threw him away. You lost to Michigan. I have never seen anything like, I heard all of this bull. And I told him, okay, I hear you. I was taking it all in, calls all the time. I was taking it on. You think I was coaching the way they was calling me about damn Ohio State. And then all of a sudden, they get into the 4. And then I get them calls back talking about, oh yeah, I said, no, hell no. You didn't want to, you threw him away, stay away. Stay away. Don't come back now, because now they're in the 4. Before he's ready to, you know, run the man out of town. Only thing I'm gonna say to him is the factor that if they should be very motivated. I think he's gonna come in with a game plan that the hell with it. We're gonna come in, we're gonna play hard, we're gonna give it all we got. You know, one thing about Jim Harbaugh in that game against Ohio State, he threw everything at them but the kitchen sink. You just got to lay it on the line. If you lose by 10, you lose by 40, which I don't think happened, but you will need 40 to beat them anyway. That's just my point on that, because that's how that's going to be. But lay it out on the line. The hell with it. You ain't got nothing to lose now. You already lost to Michigan. Don't nobody care. I mean, it'd be nice to win a ball game, but you ain't got nothing to lose this year, bro. Nothing to lose. And I think, as you mentioned earlier, Black, though, he did a hell of a job. No disrespect to anybody, Smith and Jenga. Whatever happened, you heard or whatever. But despite not having so-called one of the best receiving talents in the league, in the college football, they still got it done. That Marvin Harrison Jr. is a monster. Yeah. Is a monster. And they still got it done with injuries to running backs and whatnot. So Ryan Day's done a hell of a job. Keep pushing forward. Lay it out on the line, bro. Go out on your sword when you go out there, win, lose, or draw. That's how you get more respect from individuals like myself. Don't be afraid what people gonna be thinking. They gonna talk about you anyway, bro. So leave it out there on the field and say, the hell with it, and see what happens.
Yeah. I can't believe we're having this conversation about it. I really don't. Last second shot, Black.
Ooh, man, this one, for me, I'm tired of seeing athletes, Bill Russell, Franco Harris, retired, and then the league that they played for, that they elevated, brought to a certain level, decide they want to retire their number and pay tribute to them. Bump that, bro. If you're not doing what they're living, don't do it at all. Franco Harris, that immaculate catch, whatever you want to call it, was 50 years ago. You know how many times the NFL has played that play over and over again, no matter, regardless what you think about it. It's built the NFL to where it is now. It's nothing. I mean, I remember the music. Dun, 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 dun. Remember that movie, the NFL films? If that didn't get you excited to watch NFL football, nothing would, bro. So to me, if you're going to wait until they die to retire their number and bring out the flowers, Bill Russell, I hated when Golden State retired his number. You got to be freaking kidding me. The man was 80 some odd years old when he retired. Franco Harris, 73 when he passed. I mean, I'm sorry, Bill Russell when he passed. You had all those years to say something to him? No. Stop living in the moment and realize there's people that you're standing on their shoulders that gave up their blood, sweat, and tears to elevate your league. If you're not going to do it to a living, give it to a living, fuck it. Don't do it at all. Because I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired. I'm just dead tired, man. Give it to them when they can basically smell them and enjoy them. But don't break it at all. Forget it.
Good shot. Ice?
Y'all do a combo if I can real quick. First of all, I've been living in the state of Ohio all my life, or I lived on the East Coast for a little bit, couple other places. But in about a week, less than a week, or in a few many days, it will be legal to bet on sports at the end of this damn year. I cannot believe this. The one thing I love, I kind of partake a little bit, just a little bit, not too bad. But I always only did it when I was in Vegas or I had to go outside a little bit, March Madness. But now you making this legal in my state, I got to get another part-time damn job. Because when y'all open up the door, I'm a partaker of the apple. I just hope that they do it where people can really not lose their minds, because some people can't help themselves, but it's just really crazy. And on that note, I know that we talk a lot about sports and whatnot, but ladies and gentlemen, just tell y'all, we got New Year coming up. With the last 3 years for myself as well, it's been hard, man. It's been hard for a lot of people and a lot to think about, a lot of people passing with craziness in this world. Bro, I'm here to tell you, I just suggest that you eat well, you drink well, you take care of yourself, you enjoy your life and not quit waiting on things to happen, because, man, people are passing away like quick numbers. And I'm going to make it a testament to myself to live life to the fullest. I'm not going to say that again. I'm going to do it because I've been waiting a long time, and I don't want to say, oh yeah, that Ice Water, he was a good dude. And I end up saying, damn, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. Talking to you, Puma. Let's go to Vegas, baby. Anyway, Happy New Year, y'all.
We all got to make that trip. I want to give a shout out to Chris Paul. And Chris Paul, I know I dog him a lot, say he should retire, all this other stuff, but he made a promise to his parents a long time ago that he would finish college. And he finally graduated from Winston-Salem State at HBCU this year, a few weeks ago. So I commend that, making promises made, promises kept. And he didn't go to a HBCU to play in his basketball career, but he went back home to North Carolina and finished it out there. Salute, sir. That's our show. We'll see you next week.